now about to witness the awesome crushing might of the Robinson Show Stomper. Welcome, my friends, to a show that seemingly never ends. This is a version of 3, 5, 6. Eugene S on the show. I'm your host, Eugene S. The cane is in the living room. I don't use it inside the house. But we got a lot to talk about today. Cars will not stay anymore. Back in old USSA, USSR, US slippers. You know where I am. Anyways, got a lot to talk about. It's Bob Riley. He's gonna sing us in, as he has every single week since 2007, barring calamity. Stigmata, intro All of Nothing, from the record The Falling of the Just, still available from Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, California. You can shoot it back in nightclub. Feature Harler Hammer and run your mayor program out of town to open the Substack restaurant in Central Florida. Listen.
I'm on my way back to nowhere. I took my time but I could not see too clear.
But I'm taking a real good look at you.
Now I'm taking a real good look at your face. I'm on my way back to there, boy.
Always bring back always nothing. All right. So I'm up against the clock. So let's. I gotta eat. One of you guys in the old days, old knuckle up days, was outraged, and I would eat on the show. And I gave him Mao Zedong's line. Mao Zedong, sorry, start life as a school teacher. Yeah, that's working, right? Yeah. He started life as a school teacher, and some of the parents would complain when they come into his classroom that he'd have parent-teacher conferences, and he'd be shirtless. And rather than being ashamed of this, Mao got angry. Early indicator of what kind of leader he was going to be. He got angry. And his famous line was, "They're lucky I have pants on," which seemed apropos in my case for much of the time, since I spend so much of my public time pantsless. Like the moving company came on Friday, the movers, and didn't ship all the stuff. I just shipped the stuff that if it gets stolen, I'm like, like all my books. I had like 30 boxes, books, records, DVDs, CDs, and I left a VHS for another shipment. So I got about, 80 more boxes to ship. But these are going on a boat. They're going the slowest way possible. But, so the movers came in. Let me just finish this last bit of sandwich. There we go. All right. Sorry. Guy was outraged. So here we are, back in the USSR, and this is version a 3, a 5, a 6 of the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Sorry about last week's problem with the whole Spain thing. What can I say? And if I had been in the house, Wi-Fi in the house is fantastical. Wi-Fi in the hotel up the hill from where I stayed not so good, and that accounts for last week's show. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're here. It's now. Let's go back a little bit in time. First, a Crustables. I just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, and you did class, and at least you were there. I have been dismasted since Thursday of the week before last. So not this past Thursday, the week before. So I've been down for the count for a week. You're right. I flew out on Friday, wheelchaired it, got there, did my thing, got back in the States on Tuesday in time to do a fatigued If the Shoes Fit. And then, didn't train for the remainder of this week, including today, because all of the blood under the skin in my right leg, where I've apparently torn a quadricep muscle. Thank God it wasn't a ligament or a tendon. I don't know that for sure, but it sounds like it makes sense to say. That I decided better part of valor, especially if it had been a Thursday before the actual tour, I would have to now cancel a tour. And I'm not canceling the tour for anything. In the past, when I ruptured the quadricep tendon, I used duct tape to get me through the tour. And that's why, of course, I think the left leg eventually went out. So, surgery might take care of my problems. If it's a tendon or a ligament, I don't believe it is based on the amount of blood under the skin. I believe it's a muscle. A surgeon buddy of mine said, sewing that together is like trying to sew together a rotten watermelon. So we will not. In the case, I will take off as many days as I need to rehab it. And if I go into the shows in April as Fat Elvis, well, it is what it is. At least I can walk. I now walked up here and I've been walking with it. I went from a crutch to a cane. And somebody said I came walking in with the cane. They was like, man, you should have one of those canes. It's actually a gun or has a switchblade knife in it. And I just looked at him like, who do you think you're talking to? And the guy goes, oh, right. Who am I talking to? Yeah, that's the kind of cane it is already. Why would I get anything else? I mean, if I need it, I really gonna need it. So, Sam Bracamani, which Sam? Anyway, Victor, Nikki Rod got choked out. Well, that's good news. That gets more exciting than anything that happened last night on ESPN Plus. But anyway, so let's go from the top. Top is none of y'all presently in attendance. You may have donated money through the Substack. I don't know. June needs to be paid every month. $4.40 for the show, which is about $100 a week. So if you got a nickel, you got a dime, you got a dollar, we got PayPal, we got Cash App, we got Venmo, we got Zelle, we got cash in the envelope, we got many different ways, or just do it in the Substack to pay for the show to fund the operation, so I don't have to shoulder the burden on myself. So anyway, so let's go back in the week. So we talked on last Sunday, and I was in what was the name of it? TRH hotel, and it was a weird hotel because it was chock full of German, Dutch, and British tourists who are all old, and I'm having contempt, like, yeah. And then I realized it's my tribe. They got gray hair. I got the people working here do not see any difference. They don't know Boonwell from shit. They don't know Oxbow from shit. They don't know the books. They don't know the 7 days a week of jujitsu, the 2 days of CrossFit. They just see a guy with gray hair in a suit with a cane, and that's it. So I'm with my people. I felt so finally comfortable about being there that I went back to the room and I joined AARP. I'm not even kidding. They gave a 50% off deal. I go, now at the time when they're thinking about fucking me for Social Security, now is about the time, and my plan was to hold out till 60, anywhere from 67 to 70 to hold out to get the maximum pay for the Social Security. But now that Musk prick is in there talking about cutting it, and it calls it a Ponzi scheme. It's like, Yeah, well, that be it as it may, bro. Maybe you can like crack down on Ponzi schemes after I've got mine in place, so yeah, I mean that's what a buddy of mine said. He was like, "How much time do you have to enjoy that money? You wait till you're 70, so maybe I'll split the difference. Like I've been thinking, I'll be 63 this year. Split the difference, do it at 65. There's some cost to do it immediately, but then I shave $200 or $300 off. Does it mean that much to you? Might mean a lot to June, if you know what I mean. This is not like these are in what is the word I'm looking for? These are uh, 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 the insignificant amounts of money. Any amount of money is a significant amount of money. That's where I'm going with that. So yeah, I'm gonna wait, man. I'm 63 right now. I'm in a good enough position that I don't need it. And also, people are still like throwing freelance stuff myself, I guess, which would allow me to do both. But the reality of it is, the freelance stuff that I'm doing are about companies that are pre-public who could go public, and then I get a nice payoff and would have a little bit of a job to help with the transition. So I'm not in a hurry to do it, but yeah, I mean, especially now, not that we're in a state of flux with Musk, a non-elected extra government official Musk making plans to divert that money into his own pocket. Which, believe me, if you don't think that's what it is, you need to know that's exactly what it is. So I'm sitting in the hotel. I'm eating and I'm enjoying a little bit of quiet. It's raining and thundering like crazy, right? It's really impressive. If you like weather with character, that's where I am. I write the Substack. I do the show to mix thing. So then I got to get to the airport, right? And I look at it and I go, oh, my flight takes off at like 6:14 or some crazy time like that, which means 3 hours international flight. I got to get there 3 hours. I got to get there at 3 o'clock. So I go to drive 3 o'clock, and that's when I realize suddenly that the rental car place is by no means open. Like they don't have 24 fucking hour car rental place. So I park it right in front of the door so they don't miss it. They can't miss it. The car is there. They can't miss it. No way can they miss it. And I take the keys and I put it in the mailbox. All right. And I call, it's not an Uber or Lyft in Spain. It's a company called Bolt. And now the place where you drop the car off is it's like super sketch. There are bushes and stuff. I'm banking on old peaceful Spain, right? Old peaceful Spain. But I'm hearing like murmurings in the bushes and stuff. It's not my imagination, whatever. But I got a gimpy leg. So how am I gonna fight here, right? So I call Bolt. One guy cancels, the other guy shows up, takes me to the airport. Fine. I get the wheel as soon as I can. I get that wheelchair, and they're rolling me all around the airport, which is a glorious time for me. I got global entry too, so I'm not mad. I just a bing to the front of every line. It's wonderful. The only thing that could have made it better is I've been flying first class. I could have put my leg up, my hurt right leg. So anyway, so I get to the airport and I get on the plane. And I go, oh, the plane lands. Where's the plane land? It lands in France, Charles de Gaulle, and now it's after 8, so I know that the car dealership is open. And so I call the car dealership, and I'm like, yo, I got to go through all this shit with the phone and to get the right country code, because it's like, even though it's your cell phone, it's your cell phone. It's like you're calling from America, right? So I get to call them. Some woman answers. I go, yeah. My plane was very early. I didn't realize you guys were not 24 hours. I left it in front of your building there. I wanted you to. She says, well, you can't do that. I said, well, you weren't open like in 3 a.m. So I had, well, that's unacceptable. Was like, I'm not asking for your permission. Now I'm screaming into the phone on the plane. I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you what I've done. You can get the car, and I'll get the car. She goes, well, we could just charge you that. I said, or I could cancel it all on my credit card. This was the first kind of, well, actually, probably the second chippy interaction I had in Spain. So I started to think, if you meet 8 assholes a day, you're probably the asshole because you can't. What are the chances going to be 8 assholes? I'm driving in some roundabout, I don't know where I'm going. I got lost a couple of times. I'm using GPS, but I got lost, and I kind of maybe I cut off a truck driver, and the guy's like, panel truck, not a big truck, and the guy's like laid on his horn just a smidgen too long, almost a New York beep, right? And I'm just like, well, I go right back. I'm right all the yeah. I got the finger out the window, and then of course I got the gimpy leg, so I can the car stops because I can't easily move my right leg between the accelerator and the brake, and then the guy's following me, and I'm like, all right, I got my tack pen. You're gonna fucking die. I can still fight on the ground, but then eventually he loses interest and peels off. But at that, 2 chippy interactions, boom, boom, in the plane, back. And the way it was four movies over that I'd seen before. And then when I come back, I go, I'm gonna watch 4 movies I haven't seen before. I watched Blink twice, Zoe Kravitz movie, which was much better than I expected. I watched The Heretic with Hugh Grant, which I liked a lot more than I expected. Hugh Grant, late life resurgence. Ever since he did that thing, the Gentleman with Guy Ritchie, I started to like that guy quite a lot. So saw that, and then the 2 other movies which I can't remember. That's not the point. So I get back, do the show, and I'm like, this week, what am I obsessed with outside of my leg? Nothing, really, nothing. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna go into this Substack. I got nothing, man. The cupboards are bare. That's usually never the case, right? I know everybody's writing about Trump and everybody's writing about Musk, and I'm not letting these guys, like, I won't even call the Baldwin by his real name because these guys feed off of this stuff. I'm not even gonna feed into this machinery of these dumbasses. I think there's a self-correcting problem, and I think we're the correction. So there's nothing else to say. But and then I see some news report about something about Jack Black has paid for some sort of PR person to start to carve his way back in. So it was this cute story about this irrepressible cut up that Jack Black had going back to his sassy School of Rock or whatever movie finally turned him. And I was like, you know what? And I found myself for the next 45 minutes grousing about the way he transgressed against me in like 1993 or whenever the hell it was. I was like, fuck that. People think I'm ridiculous for holding on to that. I'm not ridiculous. Not at all. So so then I did the piece on him, David Cross, and the Sklar brothers. And I kept my mouth shut about the Sklar brothers because I fully expected at some point or another that they would like say, we were being a little ridiculous, and they would run the show anyway, which they have not. So fuck them,
To it.
If you're boring, fuck off. It is boring. I might not be the most exciting guy, but I got better ways to spend my Saturday night. Anyway, this is 356 of the Eugene S. Robinson Show, Stomper. I am your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Thanks for listening. Try not to die between next week and last week. Look what you made me do! Don't die, bloody, don't die.